As he promised, President Trump plans to shut down the U.S. Department of Education, even if an act of Congress is needed to fully abolish the agency. The White House says Trump's executive order will turn education over to families instead of bureaucracies and eliminate a department that has failed American students. Joining us now to discuss this is Chair of America's First Policy Institute Center for Education Opportunity, Erika Donalds. Good morning to you. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Moving forward, what does public education look like without the U.S. Department of Education? How will this executive order work, and what challenges are ahead?
Well, American education is in crisis. As we know, only 30% of our students are reading and doing mathematics proficiently on grade level. And so this is a long overdue reform to push the accountability and the funding, frankly, down to the states where voters can hold those folks accountable for the academic performance of their students. When we eliminate the Department of Education, it is only making up about 10% of funding nationwide. But we know the funding is not going away. But the bureaucracy, the red tape, the compliance requirements are so that the people on the ground, the teachers, the principals, and the superintendents can focus those funds directly on the students and not on compliance with federal mandates.
I'm glad you said that, because the White House said this is not going to undo federal law providing money for students in rural places or schools that have students with disabilities, or for students who come from low-income families. It's also not going to get rid of the National School Lunch Program and all the things that traditionally come from the federal government. So talk about some of the other myths and misconceptions about closing the department.
All of those funds not only are going to reach the students, but more of the funds are going to reach the students. And why is that? Because we, the taxpayers, are paying for multiple layers of bureaucracy at the federal level, at the state level for compliance with federal mandates. At every school district and every school in this country that receives federal funds, we are paying for people to push papers around instead of serving students. Teachers around the country have reported that they spend more time filling out paperwork than actually meeting the needs of students who have disabilities. We're taking all of that away and ensuring this money actually reaches those students. The money is not going away. The school lunch program is not going away. That's actually handled by USDA, not even by the Department of Education.
That's true. I want to read to you what the White House Deputy Press Secretary said. Harrison Fields said, quote, "Over the past 4 years, Democrats have allowed millions of illegal minors into the country, straining school resources and diverting focus from American students. Coupled with the rise of anti-American CRT and DEI indoctrination, this is harming our most vulnerable." What do statistics show? How is this harming the most vulnerable, Erika?
Well, research clearly shows that when you have an influx of immigrants into any education system, and this is worldwide research, teachers are having to move slower to get those students caught up. If they are not English-speaking students, which we know most of them are not only do we have to divert the teacher's attention to those students to catch them up on new material, but also instead of hiring math tutors or reading tutors for our students that are behind, we have to hire ELL, people to teach them English, social workers. And so we're seeing those resources diverted tremendously, especially in areas where a large influx of immigrants have come in. This is going to allow us to right-set those resources, put it in to allowing Native American students to get caught up, and which we haven't done since the pandemic even.
And what do you say to those who are against this, like American Federal of Teachers President Randy Weingarten, who says the Department of Education has one major purpose, and that is to level the playing field and fill opportunity gaps to help every child in America succeed?
Almost every dollar that is now going to be saved by eliminating the Department of Education will actually be put into the hands of a teachers union member in one of the states. There's nothing that the Department of Education does at the federal level that cannot be done by the states if they choose to do it with the funding that they will receive. Is Randy Weingarten saying that her own members are not going to be responsible enough to meet the needs of special needs students or of low-income students in their states if they are given the responsibility to do so? I think it's absolutely absurd that she would be against allowing more money to flow to those states and having her own members use that money to meet the needs of families in their communities.
Chair of America First Policy Institute Center for Education Opportunity, Erika Donalds. Always a pleasure to see you. I hope you have a great weekend. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.